Hi loves, and welcome back to yet another YouTube video. My name is, as you know, Mrs. Karanu. If you are a new subby, you're welcome. If you're new to the channel, to the video, you're more than welcome, And if you are the ones you have your notification button on and to get notified to come and watch this video. I appreciate it and I love you so much. So, as you can see from the title, I'm going to use Auntie Jackie's foundation technique, but I'm gonna tell you, hers is advanced, has products. I don't have products, so I want to make do with what I have. So that means this is gonna be the cheapest of the cheapest of the cheapest. Oh yeah, I have a torch here. This one, of the cheapest that you'll ever come across. Okay, but we make it work with what we have. So if you see me looking this side, this is where I have placed Auntie Jax and her. We're going to start at a point where she's already done her eyes, but her eyebrows are not done. She loves to do. If you hear noise in the background, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. Like, it's a holiday. Kids are home. I'm not going to go and start telling someone's child stay in the house because I'm recording. Okay? I'm going to do eyeshadow and then a mascara and an eyeliner. I'm just going to do this in preparation for what she does for her face. You really want to stay and watch this because I'm really excited to see how this comes out because.
Okay, so my eyes are done, and the worst thing that I feel like I've done in the past with my makeup is just going straight all over with foundation. Okay, it's not the worst. I'm being a little dramatic. But when you do that, guys, and you are multi-tonal like I am, like naturally, even if you're not black, let's just talk about the facial anatomy, all right, that we all know and see physically. Most of the time, we're darker, a little bit up here, because that's what a 5 be hitting the sun, the solar eclipse. This usually is the first part of the face that gets the most tan. Typically, we're the brightest, lightest in the center of our faces. I'm not talking about directly under the eyes because I do have slightly dark circles, but like right here, when I'm matching my foundation to my face, I'm really matching it to this part of my face because this matches my body. And then if you're West African like I am, then you were just blessed with the face mustache where even when I shave, it still looks like I have a mustache because my complexion is slightly darker above my upper lip. Back in the day, we used to color correct this area. I don't really feel like I have to anymore, but I find that like just going in with one foundation and then putting in the natural contours and shades back into the face, to me kind of just doesn't really work for me as much anymore. So I instead opt to contour first. This is the Oma Beauty Double Take. I really like this contour stick, and this is a little bit on the dark side, but the reason why I like contouring first and concealing first is because let's say you have a foundation that maybe isn't the best face match, okay? That's just the reality of having dark skin, is that not every foundation is gonna be a perfect match, and that's okay. But to me, this is just really how I get my complexion to look the most photo ready. In my opinion, I actually get much better matches doing everything backwards. So I'm gonna contour first because like I said, we naturally have shadows along the perimeter of our face, okay? And even in our cheekbones, it's naturally a little shadowy just below our cheekbones. Contouring the jawline is optional. And also, y'all, one thing about me, this is from a skincare, please ignore that. This is a skincare product that I'm using. It always has my neck looking really dry. Also, one thing about me, I use less contour. Back in the day, we used to completely just slather our faces in things that were 3-4 shades darker. Now I'm finding that I like a contour a little bit closer to my complexion because if there's less obvious contouring and highlighting, then I don't have to wear as much foundation. And to me, it just looks a little bit more believable. At this point, it's just damn near wasted makeup, okay? I almost like to contour my face in a way where like, if I didn't even wear foundation, you probably wouldn't really be able to tell. Do you get what I mean? Because back in the day, the way that I used to wear makeup, it's like I couldn't just walk out of the house with my makeup half done. I'd have to fully commit to the full face because at that point, you look crazy. Versus now, I don't contour as much so that I don't have to wear as much foundation. There's less overall layering of everything and I get a much better match. Now, One tip that I swear by, especially if you're like me and you don't like contouring your nose, is I take a little bit of my contour and just a little bit. You want like a really small pinpointed application brush, and you even want to blot off the excess if the contour is on the really dark side. And I like sort of cheating a nose contour by hitting right where the head of the brow starts and dragging all the way down to the corner of the eye right there. So I don't know if you could see, hold on. Do you see the difference between this side, albeit subtle, and this side? Once I finish this makeup application and when you take a picture, you're definitely going to see exactly what this little cheating nose, I almost call this like a fake nose contour because you're not really actually contouring your nose. But to me, this just makes the center, it draws attention to the center of the face. It doesn't slim the face at all. It actually, in my opinion, really just pronounces the eye area and just draws everything in towards the eyes, baby girl. The eyes. I didn't put all this work for you to be looking past me. You gonna look dead at me. Now this is something that you really have to carefully blend. But if you don't get it right on the first time, it's okay because we're still gonna put concealer right in the middle and that will help with blending it all in. Now, something else that I love doing is applying blush underneath my foundation. This is a great way to kind of get your feet wet. I'm gonna take the Rare Beauty Lucky Blush. Yes, it is very bright pink, borderline scary. I know, trust me, I get it. But here's the thing, we haven't even concealed yet, so we can get away with it. I am gonna be wearing pink today, and I do like putting blush, almost sort of lining it up with the corners of my eyes. And then I'm gonna blend it out using a large fluffy brush before it dries down, because this blush does set really quick, so be careful. And yes, it will look a little clownish. It will, but like I said, that's okay. We haven't concealed yet. Give me a chance to prove myself, please. And if you think I'm not about to apply more blush later, you're dead wrong, because I am gonna put on more blush still. All right, those of you guys that are heavy-handed and maybe your contouring is not your strong suit, okay, look, I've been there. This is a great method for you because you are still about to slather on a bunch of foundations. Well, not a lot, but like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much ways to cover your mistakes with this method. And also everything that goes on top, that typically goes on top of the foundation, doesn't look as obvious the way that it did before. Okay, now it is time to conceal. This is actually my favorite part of this tutorial. I've actually been color correcting as of late. I sometimes color correct and then I go through phases where I just stop doing it because I don't really care about it. Now, when you color correct, you're basically canceling out the, you know, the dark under eye circles. And when you're about my complexion, you want to use something that's a deep peach color. This is the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer in the shade 14. But what I like about this concealer, guys, is it's not just a straight orange color. It's not just a straight red color. I personally don't like using red. I feel like red looks too obvious and it makes my, it shows through. Instead, I just stick to a concealer that's a little bit peachier in tone because it actually does look like my skin tone. And guys, the key with this is only apply that corrector in the darkened areas. Don't apply corrector in the same way that you would your concealer, because it will change the color of the concealer. You're just correcting. You're not highlighting with the color corrector, you're just correcting. Color correcting has gotten out of hand. It's just gone way out of control. Now, the great thing about this is I have like a deep under eye like crease here. It's also great to just hit that with the corrector too, because then boom, it disappears. And then you don't have to worry about slathering on as much concealer later because you've already kind of done some of the work. All you have to do now is just highlight. I'm also gonna correct just above my lip. Concealer to me looks much more obvious when you put it on top of foundation versus like highlighting underneath. Also highlight the bridge of my nose. Because I don't contour, we have to put some depth there or else your nose will just be flat and it just won't look natural to the skin. The shade, that was the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer, by the way, in shade number 10. This is a full coverage, full coverage, like maximum coverage concealer. And then I'm gonna take the Pat McGrath concealer in the shade number 26. It is more of a medium coverage, and I'm basically just gonna keep this kind of close to my nose. I'm not gonna go all the way out. One color that's a little bit closer to my skin tone, one that's really, really light. And if I need to add more concealer, I will, but I'm just gonna blend this out. Blend these two shades into each other and then start blending towards the outer part of my face. I just feel like, I don't really feel like I need to apply concealer all over my under eye anymore. I just feel like it looks so much better keeping it closer in the inner corners and then blending outward. That doesn't necessarily have to apply to you guys. This is just what I like doing. Also, I find myself sponging my way through my routine a lot because, girl, sponges are just making point and they are just really great at like melting all of these products in together and allowing me to just get full control over what goes where and where it's placed. That's just my opinion. I know some people get great precision in application with brushes for the concealer in their under eye products. I just prefer to use a sponge. It's just a me thing. Now, always be mindful of your contouring. So when you blend in these really lighted areas, I know this looks like Ash Wednesday, go back to your contour and make sure on a clean side of your sponge so that you're not transferring product and making it harder for you to blend. Go to your clean side of your sponge and start blending the contour into the highlight as well. That also includes the cheeks. So as you'll notice, that blush is starting to disappear. You can't even see the blush anymore. It's starting to literally disappear. And yes, right now face is definitely giving jigsaw.
You want to play a little game?
But look, you need to learn how to trust the process. And when I say trust the process, I actually mean it. Sometimes y'all be talking about trust the process and it be like, I trusted it, you still led me astray. You still bamboozled me. So, and what was you trying to say? Points were not being made. Points declined.
I don't want to hear all that.
Okay, don't be afraid to go back in and also like reblend some of the contour, add a little bit more. You want the dark shades of the face to be blended right into the light shades of the face. And this concealer is really light. I did not mean to go this light. It's okay though. It is a-okay. And also one really important thing, make sure all the edges, especially these really light areas of your face, are fully blended out before you go into foundation, which is what we're about to do now. For the foundation today, I'm gonna be using the NYX Cosmetics Total Control Pro Drops. Love these because of their complexion variety. And the shade that I use is Deep Sable. It's a really olivey color. And I will be very honest and admit it does look sometimes a little bit more olivey on camera when I'm filming than it does in person. But the great thing is, because I've already done like half the work with my concealer, I don't need that much foundation. Yeah. I'm gonna take, wait, where's my setting spray? Instead of waiting to finish your foundation, okay, like you typically used to do, Suzette, this would be the time to take your setting spray and actually start using it with your foundation because you get way more longevity out of it when you do this. This is actually not the preferred setting spray of choice. It's just the one that I have because I'm in my office, and it is the Pure Matte Mist. I'm gonna take a drop of that foundation, and before I hit my face, I'm actually gonna spray my brush, and sometimes I take a bit of the foundation and even blot it off. And starting around my mouth area, I'm gonna start applying that product. I'm not applying a ton. I'm not applying a ton, but the little bit that I applied is gonna go a long way. We're gonna spread that foundation as much as we can. And as you can see, it's still spreading. Like, I'm still seeing the coverage. I am still seeing it cover. Now, what you need to do, non-negotiable, is go over with the rest of whatever is excess on that brush, go right over the under eye area. You can also do this with a sponge, by the way. And then also the last step, still haven't added more foundation, I'm going over my 5-head. So here you have the foundation side, here you have the still unfinished side. Foundation side, unfinished side. Foundation side, unfinished. I didn't even really put on that much product. Now I'm gonna work my way on the other side. The part of the face that breaks up for me the most, because you're talking, you're eating, you're laughing, you're drinking, I'm going to brunch today, clink, clink, is around the mouth. So I tend to put the most coverage here. Like, that's why I start here, because I know this is where the most product is gonna be concentrated. I start around my mouth, and then as I work my way up, I add less and less and less product, especially around this area. Don't want a ton of foundation sitting here because it'll look so obviously different compared to your body. And girl, that's where the demarcation devils be hopping in. Go over the under eye concealer. As you can see, what we have is a full coverage complexion, but you don't see everything sitting on top of the foundation. You see everything sitting and blending with the foundation. Now, another thing that I like to do with the rest of the foundation that's on my palette, I'm just gonna take a little bit of that leftover. And when I say a little bit, I really mean a little bit. Don't get carried away. I'm gonna go right over my concealed under eye. Seems counterproductive, but it's actually not. Like, you're still gonna be highlighted for the gods, but it's just not gonna be looking too obvious and standoutish like it used to. And then also go over the center of my face, go over the entire face without actually adding tons of more product. I'm gonna add some setting powders. I don't really use Huda setting powders a lot, but today I'm gonna be using Cinnamon Bun to set under the eye. And Cinnamon Bun looks like it's right about my complexion, I think. Let me see. Yeah, that's just about my complexion. So normally when you highlight under the eye with powder, you like to go a little bit lighter. I actually double layer my under eye powder. Sometimes I take something that's close to my skin tone first, just with a sponge and just with a little bit. There's literally no excess powder under my eyes. Like, you cannot, you see she don't move. Also highlight the center of the face with that same shade. And then, okay, this is gonna be a little intense, but I'm really gonna pack on the powder around my mouth because my skin's oily. I don't know what to tell you, my skin's real oily, girl. In the corners of my nose, this is especially helpful for those of y'all who, I have a whole video dedicated to why your foundation never stays on your nose. I did a whole video talking about this, but powder, translucent powder is gonna be your best friend if you have an oily nose, more than foundation on your nose is. In fact, I would tell people, like, please don't put foundation on your nose. Like, it just will move. It will move. Now it's gonna be the time where I do my brows, and the reason why I do my brows is because I actually like incorporating bronzing into my brows. So I'm gonna do my brows and come right back. Bronzer, as we know it, is not only good for bringing the bronzeness back to your complexion, but girl, it's also great to help enhance the brows. I'm gonna take the Midas Cosmetics Dusk to Dawn palette created by Neon MUA, and this bronze palette is bomb, y'all. Like the depth, the variation, there's 4 of these, and I've been using these since they launched last year. Similarly to how we took that contour color and we started basically shaping the inner eye area, I'm also gonna take a bit of the bronzer, starting once again in the same spot at the head of the brow. I'm gonna start pushing some of that bronzer color into our brow. And this is a great way to kind of soften out the head of the brow. If you have trouble really getting too strong of a brow, just do this. Use like a fluffy brush, a blending brush, and just soften it out. And to me, this helps not only enhance the contour that we added earlier, but it helps, like I said, soften out the brow. I am gonna use the bronzer color from this palette, and I don't really need a ton because we contoured so efficiently earlier that really this is just going to kiss some of the parts of my complexion. This is really just me being extra. And then naturally, after I bronze, I do like to blush. But before I do blush, I'm gonna take a slightly lighter translucent powder. This is my secret little trick. It's not really a secret, but this is like my little secret trick to really get everything to pop on the complexion. Okay, so I'm gonna take this super light color, also from Huda Beauty. This is the shade Banana Bread. I'm gonna hit the center of my forehead with this powder, the center of my chin, the bridge of my nose, and then right under my eye for a little peekaboo highlight. Without really adding a ton of product on my brush, this is just really a little lick. And then when I apply blush, my favorite way to apply it is while I'm actually still baking, because what you can actually do is soften out, soften out that under eye powder by kind of working around it. Like, to me, I don't know, the under eye powder around the blush just makes it look not as harsh on the skin, and it almost kind of softens it out a bit. And then whatever is left over from the under eye powder, because there will definitely still be some there, you just kind of gently sweep it off, and this will help soften out how the blush will look on the skin. And that is pretty much it. And the end result will look like this.
So I didn't know when she was done, so I'm just going to go ahead and use a voiceover for the rest of the video. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please go right on ahead and subscribe as I continue to do my face. I don't believe in finishing makeup without actually putting on a compact powder. So this one, I'm going to use a black Opal compact powder. So I'm going to just pack that right on my face so that it can set everything. Yeah, I had to do that. I don't know why. I do not know why, but I had to do that. And this routine is actually something that I have been doing since this day. So that is the final look. We're just going to set it up, cover your eyes so that the mascara and the eyeliner does not wash off, and then just shower in it. Shower with that thing. Shower with it. Shower with it. I'm telling you to shower with it. So for my lips, I'm nowadays very glossy type of person. So I use a Joy Lips, and this shade, I don't know, however, I'll put it in the description box. I love it. I've been having it for a very long time, and I think it's time I actually restocked on it. But it doesn't make my lips peel, nothing, no nothing. So definitely would recommend. So do enjoy the rest of the video. I think it's done though. Do enjoy the rest of the video, and if you have not subscribed, please don't forget to subscribe. Love you.